Ungrading is any system you use as a teacher to communicate to students how they're doing, what they know, what they don't know, what they might know better, what they might do better, how they're improving, what they could change, what they could rethink about, any of those types of feedback details without using points, percentages, or like metric systems. It's kind of the way you get feedback out in the real world. We know generally that when you provide feedback tagged alongside a grade to students, they don't look at the feedback. If students just have feedback, they do read that. Mistakes are important, and growth and trying again after you screw up are all important parts to learning. And sometimes students see a grade and decide, well, I can't do this, and so they shut down and won't even attempt any further growth. So ungrading is an attempt to get around all of those complications. It's no longer a transaction. You're not doing this in an exchange getting 25 points. I started using ungrading in fall 20 semester, that second full semester of the pandemic. I wanted to create a class experience with just so much flexibility built in. It just works so beautifully. I won't ever go back to a traditional grading system. Part of the difficulty with ungrading is that you've got to spend quite a bit of time explaining to students the premise behind it, which then allows you to reveal a little bit about your whole teaching philosophy and why what you teach matters. It's really at the premise all about learning, and that's what I'm here to do, is to help students learn. So yes, I've done this for a bit now. Right now I've got a student in a class, and she's struggling. She had COVID the first couple of weeks of the semester, the very period where I'm doing this heavy duty development of this idea and helping students understand the why. She missed all of that. She is a disability support student and is really feeling unsupported in ways because this is such a different experience. She's used to having a very sort of teacher-centered approach, I think, to her learning, where PowerPoints are provided and you know, it's all about answers instead of questions. She doesn't feel like she's got permission to do that. And so while she's trying to figure this out, I'm able to say, look, there's no grading in here. You can do this on your own timeline, and I don't have to fret that. You know, I don't have to fret the fact that, oh my gosh, she's got 6 zeros at this point because she's lost in space here in this class. I get to work off of her cues to provide the feedback that she's needing, and she's needing different feedback than pretty much everybody else in the class because of all sorts of factors, and that's okay. So it's like it's an absolute opportunity to provide equity. I've got a population of OTC 101 students who are sort of new to the game of college, and then the ed group is people who want to generally be teachers. So they've, generally speaking, had great success at school in the points, percentages, and grade game that they're used to. And it takes them longer to buy in because they've seen successes in the system they're used to, which is just doing what you're told, not necessarily about learning stuff. My OTC 101 students, though, the feedback they give me at the end of this class is just so fun to read, because they will say things like, I felt so much more engaged in the material when I knew that you weren't assigning points to do what is really, in essence, a fairly easy task. And you know, this is an online class. So I love the fact that the ungrading system, at least at first, was an avenue by which I could be really transparent about, okay, folks, this didn't work very well. Forgive me, I'm going to make some changes here. And I can make some changes because the grade isn't affected. I have more B's, and I used to have more A's. I honestly think that collection of B's is probably a better picture of total knowledge, growth, and holistic understanding of those theories. How often have you issued a grade to somebody that's an A? They actually don't know much about what you wanted them to know. It's the process through the semester that matters, not the grade you're submitting at the end, even though you've got to submit the grade at the end. I think what I would communicate to every instructor is that I enjoy the act of teaching so much more now that I'm not playing the game of transactions. You do this, I give you that. I'm Angie Miller, and I'm the Department Chair of Teacher Education and OTC 101 here at OTC. And we are doing a book club with Susan Bloom's Ungrading book, and we're going to explore the premise behind what on earth that is and how you could ever do school without grades.